Who remembers the BJ and Bill show all those years ago on WOLZ? Well, many have said they missed the show, and guess what? They're back! Welcome to the BJ and Bill podcast.
Welcome to BJ and Bill, the podcast, a part of the Podcast Playground Network. We ask you to subscribe, review, give us that 5-star review wherever you get your favorite podcast. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, you know the drill. Just do it and we will smile and say thank you, thank you, thank you as we welcome you to episode 93.
Wow. I like the way you said it. Just occurred to me there that you said it a little differently. You said, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Oh, and this one too. It's just in case.
In case we're not the favorite, maybe we're the second.
Of course,
favorite.
it's a favorite. We know that it's a favorite. Yeah. Come
and you know
on,
what?
everybody.
Everybody says that. And I started thinking, though, to myself, if you're listening to the podcast, you know where to get the podcast. And you know where you're listening to the podcast.
I hope so.
So, I don't know. That's just the way everybody else says it. So, I want to be like everybody else.
I understand. Yeah, I do. I get it. So, yeah, do we even have you ever looked? Now that you said it, now you're going to make me go and look. Now I'm going to have to open up the podcast app on my phone, which I have right here in front of me, podcasts. And then, good God, I am subscribed to my own podcast, aren't I? Yes, I am. Whew, I was almost worried for a minute there. Now, where can I see the ratings? That's the question. Because that's this week's show. And that's, here, the show. You go click on the show. Well, yeah, but that's the latest. Have you ever looked? Do we actually have any 5-star? Do we have any ratings of any kind?
You know what? I'm the guy who says this every week. I'm not. I
understand,
guy who figures
and that's
that
the weird thing. I haven't looked either. That's kind of weird. So where would I see under settings? Nope. Market.
And what's really weird too, you can do that. There's Spotify. There's like 10, 15 different podcast locations where we are.
Yes.
And I think each one of them, you can actually review on each and every one.
Yes, of course. Like you said, Apple Podcasts versus Spotify versus iHeartRadio. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very confusing. For an old guy like me, it's really confusing.
Okay. I hear you. I hear that. Now, having said that, just this past week, because summer's coming, and when the NBA season ends and the NHL season ends, I'm going to put my YouTube TV on summer vacation, and I'm going to unsubscribe or put it on pause, whatever you can do to save myself the $85 a month, because I'm cheap. So I get it. But I also signed up for YouTube Premium, which gets me YouTube with no commercials. Thank you very much. And it also gets you YouTube Music. And YouTube Music also has, I'm holding this up, YouTube Music also has podcasts. So I'm wondering, recommended shows, history, blah, blah, blah. Is the BJ and Bill podcast on YouTube podcasts?
I don't know for sure. Let me go.
I'm looking, so don't worry about it. I'm looking at it right now. The BJ and Bill podcast. Oh, it's actually like the podcast is the official name, right? So
the official name, BJ and Bill, the podcast.
Right. BJ and Bill, the podcast. And we're on YouTube Music as well. That's awesome. I mean, I know you can't really see it, but there we are. That's our logo. That's our little artwork there, So, oh my God. Can I review it here? All right. So I got, shut up.
Why don't you write a review right here as we're talking here?
Oh, I love that. Absolutely.
That
all right,
BJ and Bill, they just crack me up.
They are the
so
best.
Funny.
They're the bestest.
If I never listened to another podcast the rest of my life, I'd listen to the BJ and Bill podcast.
Right. So, all right. So there's more. Yeah, I got that. So where, So can I review it? Can I Now you're going to make me look for this, and I don't know I don't know where to find it. Unplayed, downloaded, played. Yeah. All right, I'm going to have to look that up because I'm going to write I'm going to write like, this is, look out, Joe Rogan. These guys are coming for you. They're so good. So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. That's cool. That's totally cool. All right, I'm definitely saving it to the library and adding and saving to my playlist. So, all right. So we have another fan on YouTube Music. Well, it's me, so we don't have another fan, but there you go. All good.
I still like the way Jeff Zito does it, though. He does it the best. He's like the coolest, hippest guy I know. He says, wherever you do your potting. It's like, what? Are we planting marijuana plants or something? What? We're a gardener now?
Right.
But I just like when he says that, wherever you do your potting.
I like that. I do. I mean, we could steal it. Would he care if we stole it?
No, I don't think he would. I don't think he's got to copyright it.
No, that would be hard to do.
I should go to the Pottery Barn and say, hey, are you potting the BJ and Bill podcast?
You could post that on Facebook for sure.
Get ready for dogs and cats and everything else to start screaming. I have somebody at the door, and any second now the dogs will come flying to the door, barking and screaming and everything. Hey, they're being quiet now. Wow, boy.
I don't hear anything.
I know they haven't started barking yet, so that's cool.
Those of us out here in podcast land are not hearing anything at the BJ Odom household. So far, so good.
Yes, so far I haven't barked. So
could change, but you never know. How's it going?
Not bad. I'm getting excited. I still have a month to go, but I'm getting excited. Vacation time. I'm going to take a little mini vacation to St. Augustine.
Wow, really? That's. What is that, like a 2-hour drive for you? Wow.
That's about as far as I like to drive at my age.
St. Augustine is great. I love it. A little touristy, but not bad.
I was trying to, what I really enjoy doing, and that's what we have planned. We're going to get a room.
Right.
On the ocean.
On the beach. Nice.
On the beach, on the ocean with a balcony ocean view.
Nice.
Because
in the summer, you're not going to get a great deal, but it's a way better than January. Yeah.
And I don't even know though if you'll get that much better deal, because I should have researched this before I did anything. Because but I know they have remodeled, so I'm hoping some of the reviews from the hotel where I'm staying was before they've remodeled.
Oh. So what are you saying? This place is like falling apart, or it's already been remodeled?
Well, it's just been remodeled. So I'm thinking these reviews were before the remodeling job happened.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, remodeling should make it better, right?
That's what I'm thinking. The reviews were reviewed before the remodeling.
Are you saying the reviews were less than stellar?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh boy. Okay.
For anybody that listened to us in Fort Myers and know Fort Myers, I got a feeling we might be staying at the Lonnie Kai.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
And I don't even think this was the party spot either. I just think it was the Lonnie Kai without the partying.
Wait a minute. The Lonnie Kai without the partying. There's nothing there. There's nothing left over.
They still have rooms.
Oh yeah. Who cares? So wait a minute. So the question is the Lonnie Kai still there?
It is reopened.
Amazing.
It took a brunt of the hurricane.
Oh man.
And for those of you who are watching online during the hurricane and they had the camera, it was showing the Lonnie Kai. We saw things float by the Lonnie Kai.
Right.
We saw things go by the Lonnie Kai. We watched the water go up over not all the way over, but
no. Over I will never forget that. I will never forget that. That was the most amazing thing. That you're right. The Weather Channel had that camera mounted rock solid on a tripod facing the Lonnie Kai, and then the water came up and covered the camera.
Yes.
And the guy is like, that camera is 6 feet off the beach, off the ground. And I'm like, oh my God, 6 feet of water. And so the Lonnie Kai was probably, it was like cinder block. It was like built like a tank. So it was probably the only thing left standing in that spot.
And I will say it was due for an overhaul anyway.
It was due for an overhaul in 1975. Are you kidding?
But let me say this well, I don't know what it's like now because I haven't been there in,
I don't either. I don't
4, 5, 6 years. But I remember in the days where I was a young whippersnapper and I liked to do a little partying, that was the place to go. And if, that was just a party spot.
It was. I can't tell you how many. My then wife worked for WeView, the ABC TV affiliate in Southwest Florida, and their Christmas parties were on the rooftop of the Lani Kai many moons ago. So absolutely. Are you kidding? Crazy.
I think one of the stations I worked for one time had their party at the Lani Kai, if I remember.
Unbelievable. So for all of you listening around the world, and we know we have a huge audience, the Lani Kai was a resort hotel, I don't know, built in the 1800s or something on Fort Myers Beach. And it had an amazing reputation as a party spot, as a whatever. So yeah, it was. And yeah, to say that it needed renovation would have, like I said, it needed renovation in the 70s. But so now hopefully it's better. So there you go.
Well, there was somebody that knew somebody who was related. I don't know what the story is, but where somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
Yeah.
So my wife went there for the weekend with some girlfriends because they got a free room for the weekend. And so they were, I guess everybody who came, most of them were leaving because they had 2 rooms and most of them left. And there was still another night left. So my wife, hey, most of the girls are leaving. And they said, we can have the one room if you want to come out for the night, because there's not very many of us left out here.
Okay.
And so if you want to, so I went out there. Yeah. The hotel room was not what I would call luxury accommodations.
No, it wasn't.
I will say though, I didn't have any itches or anything when I left.
That's good. That's really good. Yeah, because I've stayed in some pretty low rent hotels in my days.
Oh, you have?
Oh yeah. Wait a minute, Mr. Comedian, Mr. Roadshow. Yeah.
Yeah, be a comedian on the road, because what they do, the club owners usually pay for you to have hotel.
Right.
And most club owners, I'm not saying all. Some really take care of you, and put you in a nice, a nice place, or even a condo they may rent, or have for the year, and they put you in the comedy condo. But there were some that would put you on the wrong side of the tracks. Let's just say that. This is a true story. So one night after the show, I'm back at the hotel.
Right.
I'm trying to sleep the best I can on top of the covers. And all of a sudden, it's about 4:00 in the morning, and I get someone pounding at my door going, anybody in there want to buy some cocaine? I'm just thinking, go away. Please go away. Please go away. Please go away. And they pounded on the door again, asking the same question. And then they finally went away.
Good. There you go.
Let's just say I saw some of the ladies that were staying there.
Oh,
I think
really?
they were renting their rooms by the hour.
Really? What a surprise. Okay. So this has rapidly gone into NSFW, not safe for work territory here. So yeah, I hear you. Awesome. That's awesome. So yeah.
Those were the days, my friend.
I know. I know.
But like I said, I've heard this because the hotel was taken over by a new owner.
Okay, the Lani Kai we're talking about.
No, I'm talking about
the one you're going to in St. Augustine.
I'm going to. New owner, new company.
Okay.
Not Guy Ferrari, but who's the painter of all the wildlife and the sea creatures?
Yeah, don't put me on the spot like that.
Guy Harvey.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, he does the fishing stuff. Yeah, Guy Harvey.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is called the Guy Harvey Resort.
Awesome.
And I've seen pictures that it's remodeled now.
Okay.
They have a little gallery of, a lot of his pictures, and it looks like a decent place, but I saw some of the reviews, and one of them was though, well, this banging and
Yeah. Oh, during
buzzing
the remodeling.
during the remodeling is being a pain in the. And those were like 4 or 5 months ago. So I'm thinking,
Oh, okay.
I'm
Okay.
thinking the room we get will be remodeled and be beautiful. And
So this is right on the beach in
yeah,
probably like Anastasia Island out there, and
yeah, somewhere. I mean, it's St.
on the
Augustine,
beach.
St. Augustine Beach, wherever that's at.
Right. Right. Cool.
It's
Cool.
I'm
Well,
going to be
great.
about 9 because I already looked it up on like if I wanted to get an Uber ride and go into town, and
Right.
maybe ride the trolley or go to
Right.
town. It's about a 9-minute ride from the hotel.
Easy. Easy.
Yeah. So I could either drive it myself or Uber in.
Uber is a great idea, especially if you're doing it on a weekend, because downtown St. Augustine on a Friday night, Saturday night is just packed.
Yeah.
I mean, not in a terrible way, but it's packed. And, they have a lot of nice little nightclubs with music and all that. So, yeah, but it's nice.
And we're going to go Sunday through Thursday. So
I think that's a great idea. That is a great idea. So, yeah, that was fun. I mean, the last time I was there with a couple of friends, one of the ladies said, "Oh, there's this bar that has like live music and beer and cigars." And I'm like, "What? Oh, it's a cigar bar. Cool." Cause I've been known to smoke an occasional cigar. So yes, you get your beer and you get your cigar, and there's ashtrays there, and it's smoky as hell, but not cigarettes. It's cigars. So, I mean, it doesn't at least smell awful to my nose. And it was big fun. I mean, we ended up chatting with these young kids who were on spring break from somewhere. I don't know, but we're dancing with everybody and anybody. It was fun. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. So anyway, I'm sure you'll have big fun. We'll expect to see lots of pictures and hear great stories. When are you leaving?
not until the 7th.
Oh, the 7th. Okay. So we got some time.
Yeah, I got
between now and then, of course, yours truly will be up in Blue Ridge, Georgia, doing his regular duty of dog and cabin sitting for our friend Miss Vicky and her husband, who are going out west to visit family. And so yours truly will be dog sitting Max the Wonder Dog up there in Blue Ridge. And I just talked to Miss Vicky this morning, and I said, "Tell me the weather is a little bit nicer." "Oh, it's really nice. It's not that hot, and there's a nice breeze." And I'm like, "Keep it that way for the next 2 weeks, please," because it has been beastly hot here in Florida.
No, that's of course farther north, but my daughter, let's call her my wife. My daughter just got back from her escapades in Ohio.
In Cleveland. We saw the pictures on Facebook there. Yes.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Let me tell you, the town they spent the most time in, which I guess her boyfriend, that's where he's from. Willoughby.
Yeah,
you know
it's a suburb. It's a suburb of Cleveland. Yes. Yeah,
how far was that from where you lived?
Not that far. That's a good question. Let me look here. Let me do the Google map thing real quick. And so maps, yes. So Willoughby, Willo, G-H-B, Willoughby, Ohio. Yep. Like Willow B. Yeah. And it was out there. Yeah. I mean, it's what you would consider to be a far east Cleveland suburb. So I was actually on the west side. So, yeah, I mean, it would have been not bad. It's a half-hour drive. But anyway, good for her. That's where his family is or something like that.
I don't know. I'm trying to concentrate on you. And I got 2 women out in the other room yakking like
sorry about that. So anyway, the daughter was in Willoughby, and it's all good. Yeah, no worries.
You're not hearing them, are you?
I'm not hearing them. No.
Good, because they're probably talking about me anyway. So good.
Oh, okay. Well, they're probably, yeah, that's fine. Okay, no worries. So anyway, how did the daughter like the visit to Ohio?
I haven't really talked to her yet. They got in last night about 12:30.
Oh, okay.
And so by the time they got home, it was like 1:30.
Drive or fly? Fly out of Cleveland?
They flew.
So when they drove back to the airport in Cleveland, they were about 15 minutes away from my mother's old house where I used to live for a while. So yeah, that's on the west side. But anyway, a little Ohio geography there for you.
Yeah, because I know nothing. Well, I did one stint. It sounds like an army man or something. I did one little tour in Ohio, and I remember I ended up my last night was Bowling Green, and then right after the show, I drove straight to the Indianapolis airport, dropped off the rental car, slept in the airport for maybe 2 or 3 hours, jumped on the plane and flew home.
Wow. The life of a comedian on the road. That's just awesome. That's awesome. Well, good. Well, anyway, I'm glad she got to experience the wonders of Ohio, and summer, it's pretty warm up there, but not like Southwest Florida.
Well, she said there was not one day over 75 the whole time they were there.
There you go. Perfect.
In fact, one picture she was showing us, she was sending us pictures, and she had, regular short sleeve top and shorts. And I said, is it cold? She goes, no, it's just like, it's sunny. So it's just right.
Just right.
They went to the Cleveland Zoo.
Oh, and it's a really good one. It's a really good Cleveland. Yeah, no, I haven't been there in 30 years, but I remember it as being awesome. So cool. Very good for her.
And they went to a garden, which was funny because I know they had to be his shirts that he probably still had at his father's house. Or maybe he had and he brought them on the flight, but they went to a baseball game and they were still wearing Indians garb.
I saw that. You sent me that picture and I'm like, okay, it's been 2-3 years now since we've gone to Guardians. Crazy, stupid name, but I get it. Indians. And a lot of people were not happy about that change, but Indians, that's a kind of I get it. It's a politically sensitive issue there.
Now I did ask her the question, how many people were wearing Indians garb and how many people were wearing Guardians garb?
Yeah.
And she said 50 from, she
no
did
doubt. Yeah.
do like a rant, it was in her eyes as she looked
Right.
around, she was saying it was about 50-50.
Right. Well, the good people of Cleveland are, of course, cheap. So if I don't have to buy a new shirt, if I can still wear my Indians one, I'm going to wear it. I'm sorry, Cleveland friends. I'm not speaking badly of you. So
that's like when your fellow basketball player, that's the one you love. Like, what am I going to do with all my Warriors gear if Steph Curry would ever be traded or ever go to another team? And I've got hats, I've got jerseys, I've got shirts.
Right.
What do I do with all that stuff?
Doesn't somebody? I thought I saw something on one
jerseys.
Of the NBA. You can trade it in or something like that.
Yeah, if your favorite player goes to another team, you can send your jersey back and get it.
Although I think it would kind of at that point, the old team jersey kind of becomes a collector's item. I think it might be more valuable to keep it and just buy the new one. I don't know. I don't collect that stuff. That's not my thing. So I don't know.
I should ask my son what jerseys are worth. I know he does the helmets. He does football helmets. And then, of course, he has more than probably a half a dozen to a dozen Shaq jerseys that are all, original Shaq jerseys.
Autographed?
Well, yeah, most of them are.
Nice.
So I don't know what those would go for, but those are all hanging in the studio.
Nice. Well, they don't go for anything yet, but in 10, 20, 30 years, then, the price goes up I would assume price goes up.
I would think though, because I know he's got Magic jerseys, he's got Lakers jerseys, he's got Heat jersey, all from, Shaq.
Right.
So, he never played for Cleveland, did he? Or did he play for Cleveland?
Yes, he did. Yeah. He had a season in Cleveland. He had a season in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah. That was, I think, right after Miami. I think he went to Cleveland. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. So, okay. But yeah, he actually played with LeBron James. There are pictures of the two of them on court together in Cleveland uniforms. Yeah.
Well, LeBron always says he still would like to play with Shaq, and I think it's probably of course, it's not going to happen now.
Right. Right.
But he also said he'd like to play with Curry too. So
There you go. There you go. Put together one of those 3-on-3 games, that little exhibition thing, the 3-on-3 stuff. That'd be awesome.
speaking of basketball, not much
Speaking
of a
of
series
basketball.
so far. Now we're recording this on a Monday, as we always do.
Yes.
2 games are down. By the time this airs, 3 games will be down. Maybe even they might even play the 4th one tonight, Wednesday. I don't know. I don't know the schedule.
No, hockey games. Hockey is tonight. And I think because now they're traveling back to Dallas. So I don't think the next basketball game is until Wednesday night. I think. Not 100% sure. Not looking good for those Mavs.
Unless they really pull it out. I don't know. I don't know why they look so good the series before, or is Boston just that good?
I don't know. I didn't want. Okay, I'll be honest. I didn't want to think the Celtics were that good, but now I'm starting to suspect that they are that good. And it's funny. I was watching. They had a couple of the players mic'd up. Where they're wearing their microphones and stuff like that. And I saw they had a great one with Jaylen Brown, with yelling at his teammates. At the beginning of the game, whatever you do it with confidence. And I'm like, what a great line. It's almost like one of those little kid lines that you tell the kids in first grade, or something. Whatever you do it with confidence. I'm like, I'm putting that on a bumper sticker. That's awesome. So Jaylen Brown, good for you. And yeah, I mean, they look that good. They just do. I mean, they went what, like 1 for 10 or 1 for 11 for 3-point shots in the first half. Nothing. Couldn't find a 3-pointer in the first half. Second half, flip the switch, no problem. I'm like, okay, good for you.
I'm still hoping it's a series, but I don't think it will be.
Yes and yes. I agree with you on both of those. Meanwhile, for you hockey fans, like you said, game 2 is tonight. Florida Panthers, for you Florida fans. Florida Panthers doing a nice job beating up on Edmonton in game 1. Game 2 this night as we record this Monday night. So when you hear this podcast, you'll know that the Panthers are up 2-0. A little prediction there, but who knows?
And this is unbelievable if you ask me. But I mean, the Bulls three-peated.
Oh, Chicago. Boy, there was a throwback. Yes.
But over the weekend, the Florida Everblades, that's the old stopping grounds for BJ and Bill. They won it 3 times in a row now. What they call the Kelly Cup, ECHL.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and
awesome.
They won that in almost a sweep. They lost the first game, then they won a game in Kansas City because they were playing Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the way they do it, because the ECHL is not as rich as the NHL.
Right.
They play the first 2 there, then they play 3 at the away team, and then they play 2 if need be.
Right.
On the home ice again. So they get, they get home 4 home ice. So it's basically home ice, but the way it's split up, it's really weird.
Right.
But yeah, they lost the very first game big. It was like 6-1 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
But then, they won every game after that. And of course, the last game they won was in overtime.
Wow. At home in Fort Myers?
At home, yeah. So they won all 3 at home.
Nice.
So like I said, they played the first game, lost it in Kansas City. Second game, they won in Kansas City. Then they played game 1, 2, and 3 in Estero, which is Fort Myers.
In Estero, yeah.
And they won the cup.
Won it on home ice. Nice.
3rd year in a row.
Wow. I saw before the Stanley Cup finals started. I'm a sucker for these things. I am a sucker for that highly produced. It almost looks like a movie. It's so good. And we have the dramatic music and the heart-wrenching scenes. And before the NHL, before the Stanley Cup started, they had about a 4-minute video about the guy that handles the Stanley Cup. The blonde guy, I forget his name. Oh, yeah. And I'm watching that and the tears are running down my face. This is so cool. And the guy is talking about how he has kept every pair of white gloves he has ever used to handle the Stanley Cup. He has kept every one.
Oh,
and he's
wow.
got them laid out on his kitchen table in Ziploc bags with the name on them. I'm like, that's so freaking awesome. I can't believe it. So anyway, just saying.
Now, I remember the year that the Kelly Cup, of course, not the Kelly Cup, but the Stanley Cup
Stanley Cup.
came to, I don't know what I want to call it. I don't know if I want to call it, Tico Arena. I don't know if I want to call it Germain Arena. I don't know if I want to call it Hertz Arena. But I remember the year that blonde guy that we don't know, we can't remember his name, came to the Everblades Arena and, brought in the Stanley Cup and sat there and posed for pictures and let people pose for pictures.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting day.
I'm looking it up because now I got to know
Stanley what his
Cup
name is.
Handler, I suppose, would be his name, right? Philip, look at that. He comes right up. Keeper of the Stanley Cup. Philip Pritchard is his name. And yep, he's been doing it forever.
As long as I can remember.
Yeah. And always with the white gloves. And I love, he says, you don't touch it until you win it. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about it. When it was on display, I think it was like in a case. I can't remember, but I remember I think it was Germain when it actually.
Germain Arena, yes.
Actually, when it came, to Southwest Florida.
I missed that. I guess I was doing something else that day, but that would have been awesome. But yeah, I'm sure they're not going to let civilians like you handle it. No.
Yeah. We're not giving this to a radio guy. We're not.
No. You could stand behind the glass with the rest of the civilians.
I can only imagine what they would have done if Tom Brady would have taken it out on a boat.
Tried to pass that thing. Here, catch. Splash. Oops.
I can only imagine if that would have happened.
That would be awesome. That would
No, even the cup he had, No, the
NFL one. Yeah. What do they call it? Vince Lombardi trophy.
Yeah. If that would have actually, became an anchor at the bottom of, Tampa Bay somewhere.
Oh yeah. They'd absolutely, I mean, they'd had divers out in a minute going fishing that thing out of the water, but yeah, that's awesome. Oh man. All right. Little sports, little hotel trivia, a little whatever. Time for a break. Let's take a quick break. And there's lots more to cover, lots more, but we will be right back. Welcome back. I'm Bill Stevens. That's BJ Odom. This is BJ and Bill, the podcast. Feel free, we were talking about this earlier, wherever you do your podding, feel free to leave us that 5-star review. Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and yes, YouTube Music. For you YouTube Music subscribers, I'm a new YouTube Music subscriber. That's hard to say. But there are podcasts available there. And the BJ and Bill podcast is among the great shows you will find on YouTube Music. So stop by and give it that 5-star review. We appreciate it. Awesome.
Some people too. We're also on Podbean or Bean.
Oh, are we really?
Yeah.
Oh, Podbean. You're right. Podbean, like beans and bacon or, whatever. That's like one of the most OG podcast sites on planet. I mean, I think it might have been the first or one of the first podcast directories, where you can go and find all kinds of different podcasts. So that's awesome. I didn't know that.
I think they do hosting too and things like that. If you're trying to start a podcast, they host podcasts and things like that.
Very cool. And of course, we are all a part of the podcast playground. So stop by that website, check out all the other amazing podcasts.
Dee Snyder, I guess he's got 2 kids. Both are doing a podcast now on the podcast playground.
2 different podcasts?
Yeah, 2 different kids, 2 different podcasts.
One
is the coolest geek alive. I don't know what the other one's is.
That's the name of the podcast? The coolest geek alive? Boy, I'm sorry. I didn't think of using that name because I'm like a geek and I'm kind of, well, never mind. How about the oldest geek alive?
Yeah, that might work. Yeah.
That's actually on my dating profile on the website. I list that as one of my attributes. I am probably the oldest geek you'll ever meet. So,
Speaking of the oldest to do something,
yes.
remember we were talking about Dick Van Dyke and his 98th birthday?
Yes.
Well, I watch a lot of things with my wife. Let's just say that.
You can admit it. You've done it before. You watch the Hallmark Channel. We know.
This is even maybe worse than a man saying he watches the Hallmark Channel.
I'm not sure what that could be, but surprise us.
The Daytime Emmy Awards.
Oh my God.
We're on CBS.
Oh my
I believe.
God.
And Dick Van Dyke was the oldest actor to ever win because I told you he was on Days of Our Lives.
Yes.
He won like a guest role.
I actually saw a video of him on a red carpet somewhere, and I had the sound turned down or whatever, so I didn't hear what it was or see what it was. But he looks and acts amazing for a 98-year. I mean, yes, he walks with a cane, but he still dances with it, and he's still smiling and having fun. And I'm like, I want that.
Yeah,
I want that when I'm 98.
You know, he may, when he walks off the set or walks off of a show that he's been doing like that, like an award show or something, he may be going, oh, that was a rough night. But I mean, while he's there and anytime the camera shoots him, he just looks like he's having the best time, man. I'm 98. I'm an old fart, and hell with it. I'm having fun.
I hope, right. I really, really hope for him, because you got to love the guy. I mean, how can you not like the guy like that? You know, and I don't know him, so I'm not saying he's Mr. Wonderful or anything like that. He might have personal issues that I don't know about. But from what I can see, he looks like he's still doing a great job at this thing called life and enjoying it and all that. And I wish him the best. And I hope, I hope he's around for a lot longer. Although at 98, probably not going to be a lot longer, but still. And like I said, every time I see it, I'm like, I want that. I want to do that when I'm 98. So
yeah, I wish I enjoyed life as much as it looks like he does at my age.
At 68, and you got 30 years to catch up.
I don't know. Once again, I'm not going to do office talk here. This is going to be kind of like away from the office talk.
Mm-hmm.
But as I get older now, you get up out of a chair, or you sit down, or you squat and and all those sounds you make. I say, man, I didn't even make these sounds having sex when I was a teenager.
I've seen that. I've seen many bumper stickers like that it's like, yes, how old are you? Can you still sit or stand without making any noises? I'm like, yeah, not so much. No.
Oh,
I know. Right. And it's in my mind. Now you've planted that seed in my head, and I'm going to think about that all day as I'm getting up and sitting down or whatever on the couch in the office chair. I'm going to be like, am I making any noises? Can I do it quietly? But yeah, it's a thing. I don't know what it is, but it's a thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Before we started the podcast, we were trying to remember, because you thought you had something left over from last week that you went looking for.
Yes.
And you said, no, it wasn't this, but I want to bring it up because I am still very curious about this. You went to a conference where it was like, what was it again?
It's actually called a silent retreat. And it's a long weekend, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a long weekend at a beautiful little camping resort. I mean, not camping. They have cabins, air conditioned. Thank you. Up on the Rainbow River. For those of you in Florida, it's near Dunedin, not Dunellen. No, wait, it's near Dunellen, not Dunedin. Dunedin is a suburb in Tampa Bay. Dunellen, farther up on the river. Beautiful, beautiful place. And for that entire weekend, with the exception of a little bit of class time, for lack of a better term, class time in the morning, you are supposed to be silent for the weekend. Yes.
Come on, you can tell me how many people were silent. Was there like some of them you just go, this is supposed to be silent. Shut.
I will say
I would have been that person.
Right. So, but to answer your question, it wasn't a big crowd, maybe a dozen, maybe 12 people total. And some of them, including myself, had done it before. So we know the routine and all that. I would say they were pretty darn good. Pretty good. Yeah. So, on a couple of nights we had dinner together. Yours truly would make burgers and hot dogs for the crowd because I was I was one of two men there. So, I knew my way around a grill. I'm sorry. That's incredibly sexist. Don't send any hate mail for that. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, you're going to put me in front of a grill. I said, what the hell am I supposed to do with this?
I know, right? There you go. Long story short, most people were pretty good with the silent thing, I will say. Now, you can be wandering off in the woods, or you can be down by the river. The river is just so beautiful there. Now, of course, on a weekday or a weekend, there's going to be guys with their monster power boats zooming back and forth. So it's not exactly silent on the river, but I'm walking, I'm quiet, but yes, occasionally you pass by one of your fellow retreat members and you're going to stop and quietly chat for a little bit. Perhaps. So was I perfectly silent for the weekend? Oh, hell no.
I think maybe they ought to have like quiet hours. Like, okay, right. Today between 2 and 3, we're not going to talk.
Well, I don't know about you. Well, you have a wife and a dog and a house and a neighborhood and a whatever. When Bill is home at his bachelor pad apartment, I'm silent all day. I mean, I will have music playing. I will have, sound in the place, but I'm not talking to anybody. So I'm pretty silent. That not really doesn't count, but yeah, I hear you.
So how many men, how many women?
Like I said, there was, well, the leader, one of the leaders is a guy, is the guy who's run this program since I've known him. And I mean, that's been 15 years because I am on the board of directors of this group. It's a 401c3, a real live nonprofit in St. Pete. And I'm on the board of directors because I've been friends with this guy for 10 years. So anyway, the retired dentist who runs it, one guy. And then among the participants, me and one other guy, and probably 9 women, 8 or 9.
Oh, now I know why you're a member.
Your odds are pretty good. Now, they're all moms and retired ladies and stuff like that. So yeah, so there's not a lot of hooking up if that's what you're thinking.
Oh, okay.
Nice. I like where your head's at. I like where you're thinking, but yeah, not so much.
So what is this? I mean, I know you did a silent retreat, but
yes,
you do other things. So what is this group all about? And what are you, if you're a nonprofit, are you like raising money for something? What is this?
Well, we raise money. I mean, the money.
What is the objective of this group?
Yes, I hear what you're saying. The group, and you can check them out. It's like corehealth.us. It's not a .com. Corehealth.us. Trains, they call them facilitators, but you can think of like life coach kind of people to help people get over their SHIT from the past. So, it's a really good program to help people release, clear, whatever you want to call it, past hurt and trauma and all kinds of things like that, and help you to be more clear with your connection to yourself, to your God, to your relationships, to money, to all of that stuff. Because, a lot of people have really weird beliefs about a lot of weird stuff. Not really weird, but I mean, by the way, plug for The Practical Path, a podcast with yours truly and our friend Vicki Wagner right here on the podcast playground, where we talk about exactly these things. So yeah, so that was it. I mean, and that's what, and we're not making a ton of money on this. It's not like we're raising, it's not like we're a mega church or something like that. We don't pass a collection plate, but yes, as we train people to do this, they pay for the training and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I think it's a really good program and it really helps people. That's all I can say.
Okay, that's good. Helps people.
That's good. Yeah. So cool. There you go.
So does alcohol. We won't talk
Say what?
about that. So does alcohol, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah. That's right. And it's a lot less money than going on a silent retreat. You can sit quietly with a bottle of bourbon and it'll do pretty much the same. No. We would never recommend that, folks. Come on.
Well, my group would.
Right. I hear that. So that's, everybody has their own style. It's okay. Do what feels good.
Oh, well, I was going to talk to you about something else now. Oh yeah. Cause you were talking about your new pot. Have you got a start date on that yet?
Yeah. This week.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I mean, we did all the things that you got to do, that our boss, Jay and Gentry specify. I have artwork. I put together a 60-second promo. I have 3 or 4 shows in the can. So I'm sending those all over to Jay. Jay, you're on notice. They're coming this week. So we'll do that. So I'll let you know for sure when it actually drops. But yeah, I've made myself a promise that it's going to be this week.
I should probably wait till next week, because next week I have a show on my other podcast, which is The Gift of Life, the organ transplant podcast.
The awesome one. Yeah.
Is like, oh, it is very moving. I actually talk, when you talk about people going through things,
right?
Oh, this woman, she lost her son.
Mm-hmm.
He donated 5 organs, saved 4 lives, but she gives the whole story and talks about him. And it is just, and she talks about the first time that she went to meet the recipient of her son's heart.
Oh, wow.
You listen to the heartbeat through a stethoscope.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Let me just say, when we did it live, you can't really tell because, we're not on Zoom like you and I are.
Right.
Oh, if we would have been on Zoom and she would have been watching me, she's like, that big baby. I had tears going down my eyes.
Oh, man.
I even kind of cracked up when I said, how did that feel?
As a reporter, I want to compliment you on asking that question. That's the best thing you could have done.
Yeah.
Ask, how did that, and then get out of the way. Let her just go on that. And I'm sure it was amazing. But I'm having chills just thinking about listening to you tell the story of how you did that interview. So that's amazing. Yeah.
Now, of course, I didn't find out how he passed and some other things that my son said, well, you should ask this or you should ask that. And I says, no, it was all about, donating the heart, and wasn't about how he passed or anything like that. But,
I mean, so, I'm sure I would trust your interviewing skills with that. Just if it comes up, it comes up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Because like you said, the story of, when you do the podcast, and obviously this lady didn't receive any of the organs or whatever, but she donated from her son, which interesting angle on the story. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but I guess I was just thinking, yeah, it's whatever comes up. It's fine. It's good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Go with that.
But it is like, first of all, I first did an interview like a couple of weeks ago from a woman who had lost her husband with a liver transplant, but she was the caretaker all along, and that was a very touching interview and had, some just, I don't know how to explain it, but, just some heartwarming, conversation that's worth listening to.
Right.
Not that all of them aren't worth listening to, but this one, oh man, you better grab some Kleenex and get ready for this one, because it's a good one. It is
awesome.
I would say so far this will be the 8th episode when this one comes out, and by far that one is my favorite episode. Gift of Life, the Organ Transplant Podcast.
Look at that.
Get it wherever you get your favorite. Well, get it wherever you get the BJ and Bill podcast.
Perfect. Well, there you go. So there's a little backstory there of other podcasts and other cool stuff. So that's awesome. Well, good for you. I'm happy for it. And it's encouraging me to get off my posterior and get this thing going here as well for the one with Bill and Vicky. So yeah, awesome. Great.
All right.
How are you finding people? Well, I don't really, we don't need to talk about your podcast. You can do your podcast. And I just had a couple of curious questions, but we can talk about that later because this is our podcast and we should be whatever.
Talking about our stuff.
Talking about our stuff. There you go. There you go.
Oh, I can just tell you this. Scientists have discovered a new species of dancing frogs. They're in the Amazon rainforest and they move to the sync of tribal music.
I'm assuming their own tribe, not listening to drums in the background somewhere, but
tell me more.
Tell me more.
That's, I just get the headlines.
That's the headline. That's all you got.
I just get the headlines.
Okay.
I don't have no videos to show you.
Dancing. Yeah. Wait, you come to this show and you don't have videos of dancing frogs in the Amazon?
I can picture them,
I can too.
Oompa, oompa, oompa. They're like the Oopa Lippies or what are they called?
Yeah. It sounds like a bad Disney movie. Dancing frogs. Boy, it really, there was a couple of frogs in the cartoon pantheon of critters somewhere, but I don't remember the name of them. But yeah, that's how weird come on. How weird is this life? How weird is this world? Here it is. We've been doing this. We've been living on this planet for how many thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And a couple of random dudes out in the jungle somewhere discover a new critter that has never been seen before. Never.
They've been hiding.
Never been seen before. What? Huh? How do you do that?
Well, maybe a frog and a frog of a different species somehow hooked up and they made a new frog.
They made a new frog.
Because I have to now I'm gonna really go off the rails with something I have no idea how it works.
All right, like we've never done that before.
Yeah. So we had an Australian Shepherd. That's a dog.
Okay.
It is, since went on to the great beyond. And so, we moved and we have a smaller place and we wanted a smaller dog. My wife loves the Australian Shepherd breed.
Mm-hmm.
We got a mini Aussie.
A mini Aussie.
Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out, did you hear that bark?
I did hear. We just
there?
barely heard that in the background. So don't worry about it. He hears you talking about him and now he's thinking, now he wants to be on the show.
Yeah, no. There's someone.
Oh, at the door.
Someone at the door. Yes.
Someone at the door. Well, I was just for that split second. So anyway, you have a mini Aussie.
And what I do, I wonder, how do you make a mini Aussie?
Why? You take a full-sized Aussie and you cross him with something that's not quite so big.
Yeah, but how do you, you got to have thought that goes into it. Like, okay, like I look at our mini Aussie. We've had Aussies before.
Okay.
I look at our mini Aussie and, it kind of has like beady eyes, like a little rat. It looks like a little rat. And actually it's black. It looks like Mickey Mouse in a way.
Okay.
It's, cause it's got the long snout and it's got the bug eyes and it's about the size of a giant rat. Was it a Chihuahua? Because, they kind of got those beady eyes.
Oh, I see. So in other words, what did they cross the other one
and what do they, well, we want to make a mini Aussie. What do we need to, and this is a purebred. So somewhere along the line, it's got papers. So somewhere along the line, this breed is like breeded enough to like have papers.
Right.
This just really confuses me how they breed or select. It's got to be like any experiment. Okay, let's try to mix this. Oh, no. No, I don't think people want
that. Didn't work.
Yeah. No, that's not going to work. Right. Bring the other two. Bring the next one in.
I don't know anything about dog breeding, and I don't know anything about critter breeding of any kind. So, but I know, we live here. I live right north of Ocala, which is gigantic, big, amazing, multi-million-dollar horse country. So I understand that in order to make a fast horse, you breed one fast horse with another fast horse, and you probably get a horse that's going to be pretty fast. I get it. but it's not like you're breeding a big full size, like a Clydesdale with a Shetland pony and hoping to get something in the middle. I don't know how that works. But with dogs, apparently it does work, because you can, like you said, you can mix breeds of different critters, and you can, I don't know that. I really don't. It's an interesting question. It really is.
It's been on the back of my mind for years.
I'm sure you can find all you need to know on a YouTube video somewhere about dog breeding.
Yeah.
Get back to us.
I know how to breed them. I'd have no problem. You get
I understand
a female
how
dog
that sort of
and a
thing.
male dog, and a female dog goes into heat, and then all of a sudden you get another dog.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. We got it.
You get a whole litter. You don't just get another dog. You get like a whole litter of dogs. But I'm just wondering the science that goes into making a big dog into a little dog. That's what really baffles me.
Right.
But don't tell me I don't know about breeding. I have 2 kids of my own. I know about breeding.
You've done enough breeding of your own.
And I don't even understand that. How this and that breeded this. I don't get it. Because you know me, and you know my son, and you know how successful he is. His mother was smart, but not that damn smart.
We've had this discussion 100 times. How did your son come from you?
I don't know. She divorced me.
See, that would be like putting 2 average horses together and getting Secretariat, right? I mean, to put not too fine a point on it. You're not Einstein, and I never knew your ex-wife. I know
she married me, so she was no Einstein either.
Right. So, and then what the hell happened to produce your rock star son? I don't know. Now, here's another thing, and I guess it makes the question. It makes the point for it's how you're brought up. It's all the other things besides genetics, because I'm sure and I know for a fact, friends of mine that have 2 kids, and the 2 kids could not be farther opposite from each other. Good kid, upstanding citizen, great, whatever. Other kid, convicted felon. It's like, how does that happen? I don't know. I had a brother. You had a brother. I had a brother. I'm not going to say we were very different, but we were pretty different in terms of personality and outlook and work ethic and all that stuff. We were pretty different.
Oh, really, my brother, speaking of work ethic,
we're thinking of you.
My brother probably should have breeded my son instead of me. If we're going to go work ethic here.
So there's a piece of it there. So something in the genetic pool, some of the genetic material from your family, we're not saying, from where it came from, but, your grandfather, father, you, whatever, got passed down that skipped you and went to your son.
Now here's a strange story.
Okay.
So that was from my first wife. My second wife worked in a school.
Your current wife, we should say.
Yeah, my current wife, my second wife.
Right.
Soon to be no.
Yeah, no, never mind. Yes, we know. She worked at the Lee County schools. Yes.
Now listen to this. Her grandmother was in a school, worked for the school system.
Right.
A secretarial job.
Right.
My wife's mother, teacher. My wife, for most of her career, where she's retired and has a pension, thank God, because none of us DJs have pensions.
Correct.
Lee County schools, worked in offices of schools.
Administrator. Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter, teacher. So it's like
administrator, teacher, 4 generations.
Yeah.
All in schools.
Yeah.
And have you, the question would be for your daughter, was the fact that your mom was a school person of some sort, did that have any influence on her choice of career?
I will tell you this. She went to school originally. Her original thought was the medical field.
Okay.
She saw blood a couple times and some other things, and she goes, "Nope, this one's not for me. Move on, next career."
Right.
And I guess she settled on
the school thing.
Yeah,
But she didn't
educator.
settle. She chose.
Yeah.
So good for her. We need more good teachers, and I'm sure she's one of them. But
I could have used a good doctor though, or a good nurse.
Would have made more money. But I get it. So I guess, I mean, I know things like that do run in families. Our old friend, remember our old friend, the psychic, Reverend Gregory Keene?
Yeah.
His grandmother, his mother, him. I mean, bam, bam, bam. You know, in the psychic medium with the gift, the whole thing. That makes more sense because now you're around it all the time. You whatever the DNA is, whatever the genetics is, whatever, I don't know. But picking the same basic profession as mother, grandmother, great grandmother, whatever, that's an interesting call. I don't know.
Well, I blew my family history.
Well, yeah.
Farmer.
So did I.
And although when I switched, I kept the new train going, because mine was like farmer, radio,
right,
or entertainment, whatever you want to call,
yeah.
And then entertainment, radio, internet, all that other stuff.
Yes.
So I changed the career there, but now the legend continues. But I don't think, well, his son's studying to be a pilot. And
right. I was going to ask now that your grandson.
Yeah.
And you've talked about him being a pilot, learning to fly and all of that stuff, which is awesomely cool. So maybe it changes again. And listen, do it. Like I said, do what you love, do what you like, do what makes you happy. I don't, God bless my father. He told me that. I mean, he wasn't looking for me to get in his career, but when we were talking about families and kids and all that, and I told him when I got married, I said, Dad, I think, she and I have talked about it. We're not really interested in doing the kid thing. And he's like, I don't need grandchildren. It's like, I'm not programmed that way. So do what you want, do what makes you happy. Of course, he ended up getting grandchildren from my brother, but it was not like a pressure thing or whatever. So thinking of you, Dad, thinking of my mom today. Today is my mother's birthday. So thinking of my mom today. So wherever you are, Mom, out there in the universe, zooming around, having fun. I hope you're having a good time. So
I wonder if your mom and my mom somehow ended up in the same place.
Maybe.
And they're going, those boys of us, I don't know what to do. Now your son, he's kind of smart. My son, he's a freaking idiot.
Well, I don't know which mom would tell the other mom that, but thank you. But it's possible. My mom would be 97 today. My mom would have been 97.
Don't even, now there are people like you that are good with stuff like that. I know my mother was 69 when she passed. I know my father, I think, was like 77, right. 78. Right. I don't know. I will say this, they passed like almost 10 years apart. So that I know. But well, yeah.
I'll give you a hint. The only reason I know how old my mother would be is that she and I were apart by 30 years exactly.
Oh, okay.
I'm 67. She would have been 97. So there you go. All good.
All right. Figure out, let me see. I wonder if I can figure out what age.
Do the math, as they say. Do the math.
Again, that's.
I know it's over my
too complicated for me.
It's way over my face.
I can figure out how they breed, but I can't figure out how they make them small.
All right.
I'll try different techniques when I breed. Maybe that'll make a smaller child.
Good luck with that. All right, everybody. All right, everybody. You do the math for yourself this week or whatever other problems you have to figure out. The breeding one, I think we got that figured out. So you take care of that. All right, everybody, have a great week. We will see you in a week. But until then, it's just up to BJ Odom to say,
see ya.